Sport has this amazing ability to transcend so many things and transform lives, and it's not an opportunity you want to miss. I'm a non-traumatic spinal cord injury since I was a kid. As soon as you do have a disability, or once you're a part of that community, I think the way the world views you does shift a little bit, and you're not necessarily in charge of your own physical self. I think the expectations that we have people with disabilities are definitely lower. The biggest impact that sport can have on and for people with disabilities is, I think, learning to reclaim and to own your physical self. I think that can be incredibly challenging for every person, but I think it is particularly challenging for people with disabilities, for kids with disabilities. And sport forces you to snap out of that so quickly. I think if you are asking as much of your body as sport asks of you on a Paralympic level, an elite level, or on a grassroots participation level, it doesn't matter. If you are demanding anything of your body physically, you have to have that love and respect for it. I believe with every part of me that sport is the easiest, healthiest way to unlearn all those things that we're taught to believe growing up. For me, the part that completely changed my world was finding specifically wheelchair sports and wheelchair racing more so. I think you're growing up in a body that doesn't lend itself to every task and not every sport and not every, the world isn't designed for people with disabilities. And so you're constantly trying to make adjustments to how you navigate the world, to who you are, because you can't change the world around you. You only have control of yourself. And for me, finding wheelchair racing was, for the first time in my life, I found a world that was truly designed for me by people that look like me. And I think this body that I had grown to resent a little bit because it wasn't my idea of perfect, what I've been told it needed to be, was suddenly perfect for wheelchair racing. Everything that I disliked about it was suddenly required for this sport. And I think I learned to love my body through everything that this sport took me through. And I think not just accomplishments, not just achievements or world titles or anything like that, but who it allowed me to become, the respect I got to learn and grow from my body, and the people that I was able to surround myself with is huge. I think physically being a well-designed view through sports, through Paralympic sport, is one thing, but being surrounded by people with that same lived experience, or who have that understanding of that experience. And you're only as disabled as your environment demands you to be. And once you're in Paralympic sport, that suddenly becomes a non-existent problem. And we have an opportunity as individuals to continue to create that space in that world wherever we go. We don't have to rely on it being created for us through sport, but you do learn how to create it through sport, and that's where that importance really sits. Learning that story together, and rather than individual voices trying to make changes in their own way, I think you're seeing Paralympians banding together in a really global way and trying to move that entire movement forward. Not just the sport, not just Paralympians, but for that 15% of the global population. And I think that's going to be huge comparison. It's going to be bigger come LA. I think it's going to be enormous come 2032 back in Australia. And I'm looking forward to being a part of all of that. Anyone who wants to get into any kind of sport, find anything, and it'll progress from there. I and everyone I know, we tried so many things. We failed at so many things. I think even as an elite athlete, you fail so many more times than you succeed. That's just how sport goes. That's how all of it works. And that is 100% okay. Lean into those failures. Try anything and everything until you find something you love.